that's more scandalous than you think. Well, guys, we're talking about it this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. A big revealing. Well, tune in, check it out. Jimmy, let's get after it. The show starts right now. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab, where
when something negative comes up,
building muscle improves blood flow.
From squirting to squirreling.
Start small, build up, and expand from there.
Be entertained by fun over here.
How have I slept? Has my sleep been good? That's
regret doesn't come from breaking the rules, you guys. Hey, good morning. We're just dancing away here. Mornings in the Live with Keith and Friends, your favorite live morning show. Hey, Jimmy, you never know who's paying attention first thing in the morning, so I just thought it's like, it's an R-rated show. Yeah, thought I'd dance. What's up, B-Drive? What's up, Lady Drew? We're getting after it here on 8 o'clock Eastern time. Mornings in the Lab, your favorite live morning show, delivering real talk, daily morning motivation, dancing, an entertaining conversation designed specifically to kickstart your morning mindset. That is a true mother story. We got a jam-packed episode today. Hey, Jimmy. I got something for the nation today. We're going to dive. You guys don't know who Jimmy is? Jimmy's the producer behind the show here. Yeah, he's actually the real star of the show. I'm just a talking puppet. Oh, I love the word puppet. I'm just a talking head. We're going to dive into the shocking household item that exposes cheating partners. So if you want to cheat, well, you better tune into the show today, because I'm going to give you some tips how to not get caught. Oh, is that what we do here? Do we teach guys how to not get caught cheating? No, we don't do that. We're going to unveil why science says being selfish might just make you a better man as well, guys. Yeah, that's another true story. Then we're going to set some clear intentions. Just going to set some clear intentions with our daily accountability check-in before the morning loop. I'm sorry, before we get into center stage, where we're going to learn 5 neuroscience hacks to supercharge your brain for peak performance. Speaking of that, Jimmy, I just got a note from our brother from another mother, John Anderson. He's stuck in the situation room. No, not in the White House, Jimmy. No, he's stuck in the situation room, making sure that the situation is clean. Oh, do I hear the bidet running, Jimmy? Do I hear the bidet running? Oh, maybe that's Johnny running. And also stick around, guys, for our deep dive segment. We're going to biohack your plate, because let's be real, who doesn't want to eat smarter, live longer, and perform better? Actually, Jimmy, I got to tell you something funny, bro. Last night I was out having some, took my extremely beautiful wife last night out to a good old ice cream shop last night, and took the dog with us, Jimmy. We're out just crushing ice cream. Look in the corner. There's old Lola just dropping it down there and dropping a package in the middle of the parking lot. I'm sorry, right in the middle of the eating. Everyone's like, oh, look at the nice dog. She's dropping a big load. Oh, yeah, true story. There you go. Hey, good morning, Holroyd. Good morning, old driver. Like a Manosphere morning zoo show. That is exactly it, Joel Driver. Thanks for joining Mornings Live with Keith. Oh, hey, speaking of Manosphere morning show, Jimmy, how can folks connect with us? I know you know. Let's put the number up, 431-300-3005. Old driver. Yeah, it's like it's 1985 again. You can actually pick up the phone and phone Uncle Keith. The Mornings in the Lab hotline is open right now, 431-300-3005. The only morning show hotline that's open all the time. Roofy's in, kindness. Oh, Jimmy. Matt Roof's here. Kindness Rising, the MITL situation room where all the best thinking happens. That's exactly it. No, Maddie, I know. I know. I got a shirt coming out that says, I know. For all of you guys that know everything, I got the best shirt coming out that says, I know. So Holroyd, you can wear it to work next week and just wear it around and say, I know. And everybody's going to look at you, and there's some dude that's going to be all out of shape and all out of whack. He's like, oh, you know? Yeah, I know. Because we all know somebody who knows. That's a true story. And hey, we're going to wrap up with hour one with some mind fuel. AJ Zeglin's going to be here, but not here in the lab. No, he was over there yesterday. He's going to dial us in. We're going to talk about, ideally, we're going to talk about relationships and some truth bombs without the fluff, because your love life deserves more than just some vague advice. And hey, guys, standard reminders, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, tell all your friends about the greatest morning show on the planet. And of course, this is an R-rated show, as I told you guys at the beginning here. We do like to drop some language that might offend some children and men and wives and other people along the way. And hey, speaking of wives, Jimmy, I want to have a conversation with you, brother. I want to have a conversation with you. I'm going to change the camera to right here. Yep. Boop, boop, boop. All right. So we build this show for men. However, we'd like to invite the ladies. Yeah, that's another true story right there. Speaking of true stories, the official true story hat is for sale on the MITL. That's called Mornings in the Lab. Yeah, the Mornings in the Lab morning store is open. Ding, 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 ding. It's open. And if you want to get yourself an official Mornings in the Lab hat, you can get one. Just like Adam Holroyd, the OG himself. Yeah, deliver straight to your house. Uncle Keith designed them. And we got the true story hats as well. So if you know the meaning of true story, that's a true story. We got the line as well available for sale at themorning.store. Yes, there it is right there. Jimmy's pulling it up there. Guys, Jimmy's on the ball here today. The greatest producer in the morning planet, of the morning show around. I'm just telling you guys, producer Jimmy. Look at that, different colors of hats. True story. And they're not even expensive. No, they're only, $39.99. Is that, Jimmy, is that in Filipino money, or is that in Canadian money, or is that in U.S. money? Hey, Bernard, how's Michigan today, brother? What are you up to today, Bernard? We got the great community coming to life here on the Mornings in the Lab. Speaking of the community, you guys can join the community as well. I invite you to subscribe to the Mornings in the Lab community. And to do that, you're just going to click on subscribe. That's it. And if you really want to contribute to the party, you can pull up the old Visa. We do take Amex too. And maybe Discover, maybe Sears card, Eaton's card, Bay card, all the cards. Take them all. Yeah, $3, $10, $20 a month just to line Uncle Daddy's pockets over here. All kidding aside. No, we're not going to do that. We are actually investing into the show. Speaking of investing into the show, I met a fellow yesterday. Maybe he's tuning in right now. I don't know. Uncle David, you tuning in? Good morning if you are. Yeah, going to read between the lines here. I met Jerry Maguire yesterday. Yeah, I did. Met Jerry Maguire. Hung out with him. Had a good conversation with him. Might be interested in what we're building here in the lab. Just might. And just when you meet people that just might be interested, you never know what happens. All it takes is one exceptional human being to say, hey, I know what we're getting after here in the lab. Bernard, looking like another beautiful day here. And here as well, Bernard, we had a big storm last night here, but looks like it's a sunny day. Hey guys, there's a surprising household item sitting inside your house right now, that could expose your cheating or your partner's cheating. We're going to talk about it throughout the show here. I'm going to tease it. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about it right now, but I'm going to tell you guys there isn't. And this one's going to blow you away. Speaking of blowing away, I see Johnny's blowing up a storm right now, Jimmy. Maybe it's time to bring the blowhard himself into the lab and see what's shaking.
Blowhard, that's a new one.
I wanted to see if you were listening. What's going on?
Yeah, I got my ears in, babe. I can hear even when I go take a piss, I can hear you.
I know you can. How are you, brother? How are you today? What's shaking today? I know you're getting ready for the big July 4th long weekend with your family.
I was wrong. We actually have, including Terry and myself, we're going to have 18 people.
Yesterday it was 16 Nation. Now Johnny's got 2 more coming in.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't up to speed with the count.
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah. Hey,
yeah.
Is Terry one of those organized wives where like there's like seating cards or seating arrangements? There's like everything's like, is there a map for your whole crew coming in going, okay, here's where you're sleeping, here's where you're sitting?
100%. She's even got the fucking menu written out on a timetable. Yeah.
Lauren's the same. And when I first started seeing that, I was like, oh, is that how it works? Okay. And then I just took a deep breath and I was like, okay, I see how that works. I'm learning about my partner.
Yeah. Did you get my text this morning?
I did get it. Oh, you mean the text about John Anderson University? Hey guys, Johnny's got a university.
Different one, different text. You must not have seen the next one.
No, I did. I saw that one too. But I thought they were both. Oh, you mean a second? I did. I was. I did. You didn't hear me kick it off because you didn't have your ears in. I said,
No, I didn't. I was still dealing with what I was dealing with, man. I didn't have the ears in. Exactly.
I said that you were in the Mornings in the Lab situation room.
Well, so we talk about rentals. This is another interesting one, right? So Terry's on this. But thank you for talking about the university. We can talk about that in a minute. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
So Terry's on this beetroot kick. You heard of beetroot?
God. Oh, I have. Yes. Okay. Let's just get Lauren and Terry have them talk. Yes. Okay. Go.
It's just red fucking powder. Well, see, I love pickled beets. I don't eat beets much, but if I'm gonna eat them, they're gonna be pickled.
I know you do.
Yeah. And she's been trying to get me to do this beet thing. And it's actually there's no sugar in it. It's not doesn't really go against. It's just me thinking why.
Yeah, it's just crushed up beet powder as well. That's all it is. Crushed up beets.
Yeah, but she says, if you take because we take this, this shit that doesn't taste very good. It's like a mineral thing, a little bit of liquid there. And we also take sometimes some apple cider vinegar. She goes, listen, put all that in the beet juice, and then it tastes like pickled beets. She said, if you put a little sweetener in there, you probably really like the taste. I was like, fuck, that actually does taste pretty good. That sounds pretty good. So I whip up a glass of it last night. It's about somewhere between 7:30 and 8 of my bedtime. Don't know exactly when. Drink it down. Wasn't bad. Right?
Yes.
And I was up extra early today. I'm on the toilet about 2:30. And I take a dump, and of course, what do? You move your stuff to the side and take a look,
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, well, I'm either fucking dying or this beetroot is coming out of me.
It was all purple, eh?
No, it wasn't purple. It was red, dude.
Oh.
It was red. I mean, fucking red. Like I was like either just erupting blood out the butt or this shit was turning the corner.
Oh my God.
So do the math on that.
Yeah.
That's what 6 hours.
I'm going to say 6 hours. Yeah. Look at that. That's incredible. That's actually incredible. Yeah. And so again, guys, we're having conversations here nobody's having anywhere else. And what I mean by that is I'm going to talk serious here.
Digestion.
Yes, these are curious conversations. You guys eat food at night and you wonder why you're bloated or feeling inflamed or feeling crappy. And here's the thing, Johnny, unless we have conversation or awareness about it, we just do it again and we don't think about it. Like, I'm still having an upset stomach. Well, maybe let's talk about it. Right? Yeah. So speaking of, Lauren and I had a date last night. We went and just grabbed some ice cream down the street here and we took the dog with us, right? So we're sitting in the eating area and just having our little treat there. And Lauren's like, where's Lola? And we look, she's behind us, just crouching, dropping a big fucking load there in the eating area.
Is it outside or inside?
Outside. There's this
Thank God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
There's these girls going, oh, look at the nice dog. We look over, just squatting up.
Just turned out, just fucking bent back, just grinding away. They get that look when they're pushing. They're looking around, Like, I swear to God, my big boy Midas, he gets down and he looks and he sees you looking, he'll stop and he'll move. He doesn't like you looking at him when he's taking a dump.
Yes. Mike McQuillan joining us here on the show. Mike, dude, I appreciate you, man, because you got a great comment here, a really great comment. Your shit is your memoir. True story. I'm working on a blog post about that. McQuillan, when you drop that post, tag us, let us know about it so we can talk about it or else bring you on because it's actually a worthwhile conversation. It absolutely is.
Dude, I tell my clients, I say, look,
Mike, when you get that rolling, let's get after it. Speaking of rolling, Johnny, I got something fun to get out to the show today. There's a household item in your house right now, my house as well, that cheaters are getting caught cheating on their partners because of the household item. And a private detective, I found a fun story yesterday that revealed a woman found her husband cheating. Because
some sort of a little secret camera or something?
Well, we're going to talk. We're going to tease it later on in the show here. But hey, before we do that, ever thought that being selfish might actually make you a better man? I know you believe this. I know you do, because so do I. It sounds crazy, but science is now backing up what might be your next big life hack: healthy selfishness. And today, what's that, Jimmy here? Oh yes, you can. Hold on, Jimmy. What picture are you dropping, Jimmy? I don't know what picture you're dropping. Today, we're going to dive deep into how putting yourself first in a balanced and intentional way can transform your mental health, relationship, and overall health success. Well, here's the thing, guys. Healthy selfishness is about prioritizing your well-being without harming others. There's some research that's showing that taking care of yourself first boosts psychological well-being, self-esteem, and relationship quality. Ignoring personal needs often leads to depression, anxiety, and burnout. Johnny,
I've been preaching this for fucking decades, dude.
Yeah.
You know? And the thing about it's like when you talk about, you know, the idea of taking time for yourself,
yes,
that doesn't mean going fucking drinking with the boys.
Well, that's
so you got to understand, you know, it's like people take this shit and they twist it all up. No. It's, you got to understand the spirit of what we're talking about here. The spirit is you getting better, you getting more mentally healthy, you getting more physically healthy. So are you doing activities that are leading to you being a better man, which will lead to you a better provider and father and everything else?
That's absolutely right. And it's nice that this research is, again, it's this continued awareness. Compassionate, generous people are generally happy, healthier, but only when they do not neglect their own self needs. And in my experience, folks are like, oh, I got to take care of my kids. Yes, you do got to take care of your kids, but really, when you're taking care of yourself first, you're taking care of your kids. And I know that that's often confused with early parents and mid parents, which is we feel guilty, we feel selfish because we're taking care of ourselves first. Man, all we're asking is 30 minutes, suggesting 30 minutes, 20 minutes, go for a walk with your kids. You know, yesterday we were talking about aging gracefully, Johnny, and when you're 80 or 90 and wanting to pick up your kids, you know, your grandkids, it's the decisions you're making earlier in life that are going to help you out there.
I mean, it's brother, it's a fucking cop out.
Yes.
People hide behind this shit.
Yes.
You know, like you said, take your kid for a walk. Okay. The kid's a baby, put her in the fucking stroller. I used to I took walks every fucking day with my kids, whether they could walk or not. And guess what? We were both outside. We were both, you know, sometimes there's one, sometimes many. We were both getting healthy.
Yes, absolutely. You just got to get up and get after it. Hey, you're hanging out with Keith and John here on Mornings and Live with Keith and Friends every day, 8 o'clock Eastern time, the only morning show to help you guys get up, get after it. We talk positive conversation, positive information, positive insight. We talk poo. We do, just like Mike McQuillan. We're going to talk, we are going to get into here in a few moments the accountability check-in, Jimmy. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to get into conversation around boosting your brain, 5 neuroscience hack for peak performance. We're going to talk a little bit about Johnny's got a new project he's launched. We're going to talk about that in a few moments as well. The Biohackers played. AJ is joining us later on in the show to talk how to reinvent your relationship. And then, of course, guys, I got a big topic here I got on the table this morning. There's a household item. There's a household item inside your house right now that will catch you cheating. So, guys, Johnny, guys are like, oh, what's Uncle Keith know about me that he's not telling me?
Well, you know, the simple fucking answer to this is don't do that dumb shit.
Well, that's the funny thing too, is that, and hey, but Johnny, I was going to say to myself, I'm going to say to us, we're equal opportunists here on the show. So if you want to make bad decisions and cheat, well, that's on you. Just don't bring it here to the show. If you want to make good decisions and not cheat, well, then listen to the segment we got coming up later on in the show, because your wife might find you cheating based on what I'm going to tell you about. But before we do that, Jimmy, let's get to the accountability check-in. And then when we come back, let's talk about how to boost your brain. 5 neuroscience hacks for peak performance. But before we do that, we're going to do the accountability check-in. Jimmy, let's run a check-in, brother.
I am capable. I am strong. I will achieve my goals. Today is a new day.
There we go. Hey, imposter syndrome. Yeah, we talk about it on the show often. It doesn't care how many wins you've stacked. It never does. You can sell the business you built for millions. You can stay on as CEO and still lose it all in a moment. Yeah, you know what? That's what happened to me. Yeah, that's a true story. Oh, yeah. Built it up, sold it, made a lot of cash, stayed on as CEO, and then got the proverbial phone call. Hey, you're done. Oh, okay. One call. Suddenly, I was out the door. No title, no team, no more routine. My confidence, boom, 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 gone in an instant. Super gone, just out the door. If you've ever had the rug pulled out from under you, if you've built a life, a reputation, an identity, only to watch it disappear overnight, you're not alone. I know you. I've been you. It sucks and it can make you question everything. But here's what I learned from rebuilding over the last year and a half, that confidence isn't something you wait to feel. It's like building strength in the gym. It happens through constant action, consistent action, no shortcuts, showing up for yourself, especially on the days you feel like you have nothing to give. You rebuild by getting up and staying up. And you get up by keeping that routine tight and refusing to let a setback define your story. So as you're getting up and getting after, not hitting the snooze button today, maybe your mind is having some of those same feelings that I had. You're questioning your confidence, you're questioning your purpose, you're questioning why you're at it and what you're doing. I invite you, get up, get moving. That movement will create momentum, and then magic happens. There's your accountability check-in this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here in the lab. The Mornings in the Lab. Yeah, right here. YouTube, LinkedIn, X. All right, guys, let's get into some conversation about boosting your brain. The Biohacker's plate. Coming up later on in the show. The surprising household item that could expose cheating partners. It's in your house, you guys. It's in your house. You don't even know it. You might even be doing it. You don't even know it. Maddie Roof in the comments. You want something easily digested? Try oatmeal, brown sugar, and raisins with a poached egg on top. My mother actually eats this. True story. Oh, I gag. Let's bring Johnny up here, Jimmy. I got to get his opinion on this too. What the hell, Roofy? Johnny, oatmeal, brown sugar, and raisins with a poached egg on top.
Hold on. Read that. Say that again.
Yeah. Oatmeal, brown sugar, and raisins. That I can do. I love that.
Oatmeal, brown sugar, and raisins. Okay.
With a poached egg on top.
I think I would do that. That would be fucking good, dude. An egg with something. Think about this. When I was a fat little fucker and I would have like breakfasts that I wanted, and eggs with pancakes and the fucking syrup and shit, those eggs go so good with anything sweet.
Oh, I can't disagree with you there, brother. I can't disagree with you all at all there, actually. You know,
dude, last night I put some ground beef on basically I had two of these.
Yeah.
The ground beef. Well, forgive me. The very bottom was a low carb tortilla.
Yeah.
Ground beef, layer 1. Layer 2, fried egg. Layer 3 was a little bit of drizzle of sugar-free maple syrup with a bunch of Celtic salt, and that was fucking amazing.
Yes. You know what I want to do here on the morning of the show as we continue to improve and get this show better than ever all the time? I think we should be talking like about recipes and food, because that stuff helps people. Right?
Oh,
and
dude, I got some crazy shit that's so good.
I know you do, because you know what, pal? You know what's actually, I'm going to swear here for a second, guys. You know what's fucking crazy? Every single day, every human being between, like, I'm going to say 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And if you're a parent, this is worse. We all go through this decision, Johnny. What are we eating for dinner today? And we all like fucking puzzled. We're all like,
not all of us. No, not all of us.
I know. I know, but there's many that aren't prepared that are like, okay, so what's for dinner today? We're pretty good in this house too. Lauren makes big meals, like, and we just crush leftovers. Like last night was leftover house. You know what I love to do, pal? Is once we get this big meal, I don't know about you guys, but when it's leftover day, you get into the fridge, you unload the fridge onto the island, take your plate, you just fucking load everything up there. And last night, pal, I just crushed a mountain of chicken breast that Lauren made the night before. Just a fucking mountain. A little bit of cheese on the side, Johnny, because I love my cheese, but just fucking a mountain of chicken breast. I love those kind of meals, man. You know what I mean? So, all right, let's get into boosting your brain. 5 neuroscience hacks for peak performance. I got a great clip we're going to run here. I suspect when we take this, we're going to move a little bit into discussion around Jimmy. Let's bring in Marty too after the clip, okay? We're going to get into some discussion on how to improve your brain, some neuroscience hacks. It's funny because John and I had a quick chat about business yesterday, and we ended up having some chat about this. I'm like, fuck, did you know we we were talking about this today, so we're going to get into that. You guys heard me tease. John's got a new project he's working on as well. We're going to talk about that for a little bit as well, and maybe even lean into some conversations with peptides as well into this conversation. So, Jimmy, let's run the clip and let's get after it right now.
What if everything you've been told about optimizing your brain is backwards? You're crushing it at 35, 40, 45, but your memory isn't what it used to be. Information overload is real. The brain training apps aren't working, and you're running on caffeine and willpower. Harvard studies prove that ancient memory techniques leverage your brain's visual processing superiority. You remember images 10 times better than lists. And here's the kicker. Neuroscientist Professor Uchida's research shows that keeping expectations low while setting high goals maximizes your dopamine system. The Memory Palace technique transforms client information into unforgettable visual stories. Strategic NREM sleep resets your decision-making capacity between meetings. 15-minute daily practice sessions create deeper brain changes than weekend marathons. Multimodal learning, like handwriting notes, activates multiple neural networks simultaneously. Your brain is your greatest asset. It's time to optimize it with science, not speculation. Ready to unlock your cognitive potential?
5 neuroscience-backed brain hacks that are revolutionizing how high-performing men like you optimize your cognitive potential, revealing the counterintuitive secrets that Harvard researchers and Silicon Valley executives, as well as real-life men like John Anderson, are using to unlock peak mental performance. Let's bring up Marty and Johnny into the lab here. And while we're doing that, I guess get some of the comments here. We were talking food a few moments ago, and B-Drive coming in. That's an old-time favorite. And Maddie's come back. She ordered this from restaurants. And Holroyd's right. Johnny's always got the great best recipes. B-Drive comes. My grandpa had peanut butter on his pancakes with eggs over easy in between them and syrup.
Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Almond butter, you got me, babe.
Yeah.
Peanut butter.
We got, we call that daddy mishmash. It's what I fed my kids every time Heather wasn't around at dinner time. Breakfast, B-Drive, I love breakfast for dinner. I'm a huge fan of breakfast for dinner. And then we got Lady Drew coming in. I do with pancakes. I use Jif Natural. Lady Drew, we got to talk about your peanut butter choices. True story, man. I don't know about the Jif. I think you got to lean into the atoms in the glass jar, just a bunch of crushed peanuts. And then we got Bernard coming in. It's so good. I do like honey on them as well, though. Marty, what's shaking, brother? How are you, pal?
I'm amazing, man. How you guys doing, man? It's another day. I'm great.
He's getting some food down right before it came on. So he's maximizing time is what he's doing.
I love it. He's
trying my best too, man.
I love it. Well, hey, while we're doing this, let's get into a conversation around neuroscience and how you can boost your brain, hacks for peak performance. And,
real quick, brother, I want to just say something. Most people look at me and think that I've been more focused on physical performance. I've been probably more intrigued by mental performance the whole fucking way because I know the body will follow the mind.
Yes. Well, and I got to be honest with you, man, when I met both you guys and when I started my journey with like this business athlete mindset, I always, because I'm not the big muscle dude. You know, I joke about being the bodybuilder guy, but I'm not the big muscle.
Wait a minute. You're not?
No, I'm not.
I would have never known Keith would say something like that. Never would have guessed that.
Dude, I thought you were downsized.
Oh, hey,
I'm quitting, man. This is bullshit.
Yeah, hey, look. This is your Uncle Keith standing at a sitting desk. Hi.
Well, that's why, because the many bodybuilders are like 4.5 feet tall. So I believed all the shit you told me.
Hey, you know what, Johnny?
Sorry, about 4 feet tall.
You know what, Johnny? Didn't Keith start off the year taking a picture every day? And
I did. I got a whole bunch of them.
Talk about it in a while, Johnny. What about you? You heard him talk about it, Johnny?
I do have a bunch. I did stop taking them, but I do have a bunch of them. 100%. Yeah, I went down there and took them over there behind the wall. Big collection of Uncle Keith standing there with his belly hanging out there.
I do remember that, but I didn't think my gut was he didn't stop. My gut was he just didn't put it on Front Street.
Yeah, I got a whole roll of them actually, and I was looking at myself standing there, just my fucking belly. But hey, it's what it is. But Johnny, back to your comment though. I've always believed myself that mental and emotional unlocks physical. And I guess until I started talking with you guys on the show, and you then backing it up, Johnny, as a muscle bound dude, and Marty, you as a successful athletic, as an athlete, was confirming my beliefs in many ways that In order to be physically strong, we have to be mentally strong and emotionally strong. So I really love that we've arrived on this discussion, because you can't go in the gym and lift big weights if you're not mentally strong or emotionally strong. So I think it's as simple as that, boys.
I want to say I had a client recently ask me why do I think trainers need to be in shape? And I told him it's a battle of the mind when you get yourself fit. So if you're getting other people fit, right, who probably never played a sport or anything, you got to know that mindset. You got to know how to help them when that obstacle hits or when that challenge hits. So mindset is everything in fitness.
You can't lead yourself. You can't lead someone else. It's that simple. Why people don't understand this? I mean, whoever asked that question should have known better than to ask the question.
I agree. But I got an answer for
Unbelievable.
it,
Oh, for sure, brother. I'm not talking. It just blows me away sometimes when people ask this shit. Like you just said the other day, it was yesterday. Someone said, "What are you training for?" I train for fucking life. What are you training for?
Yes.
Clearly nothing. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. What I'm enjoying though is that we the science and the research and more people are talking around the neuroscience of our physical selves, because let's face it, Johnny, when you and I were growing up, we weren't having these conversations around neuroscience. We just weren't. Right? It was go in, pick up something heavy. Like Johnny Schwarzenegger and Marty Schwarzenegger was talking about neuroscience back in the 80s. We weren't having those conversations.
Definitely wasn't.
Right? So it's nice that we're talking about brain training, because it's the way that's going to move us forward, right? So let's get into mastering these 5 evidence-based strategies, and we'll get into it throughout the conversation here. Marty, we'll get your fit tip in a couple minutes as well. We'll have this. We'll take this conversation throughout the show. When you master these 5 evidence-based strategies, you're going to experience enhanced memory recall, laser focus attention, optimized decision-making capacity, and the cognitive resilience to thrive in our information-saturated world. Now, boys, the foundation for these brain-optimized techniques comes from a groundbreaking 2024 research published, combined with decades of neuroscience studies from Harvard, Stanford, and University of Pennsylvania. Here's what the science reveals. The sleep revolution. 30-minute naps don't just reset your brain. They literally rewire your neural connections for enhanced cognitive performance.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, that's a fucking non-negotiable.
Absolutely.
Whether I'm in the fucking car, wherever it is. And here's the crazy thing is like, I was at a buddy's house and I was like, hey, I just need to take a quick nap. I'm just going to jump on your couch. He's like, oh, you know what? I can put you to bed and blah, blah. I said, no, dude, I won't take long. I mean, at home, I'll go get in my bed, but his idea of a nap was a couple hours. I laid down, I fell asleep and I was I got back up. He's like, holy shit, that was fast. I was so rejuvenated in like 15, 20 minutes.
That's all you need.
Yeah. It's what's an interesting exercise is that, Marty, you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to go do a 60-minute workout or a 45-minute workout or a 30, whatever it is. You're going to physically make the decision, right? You're meant to I'm going to go do a workout. Yet we as human beings struggle to say, okay, I'm going to go and remove 30-minute workout. I'm going to go and do a 30-minute nap. Somebody will look at you, Marty, and say, what are you, fucking lazy, man? And you're like, and that's kind of there's a mindset shift that has to happen there, Marty.
Well, there's a different approach. There's a different feeling in the workout when you feel fresh.
Yes.
And your mind is fresh.
Yes.
So I'm sure Johnny and Keith, you've gone into a workout with your mind clouded.
Yes.
And the workout is not going to be as effective. So
no.
A lot of people sleep on sleep and sleep on naps, but it can definitely change the workout and change your output of the workout.
But Johnny, what you said with your nap, though, and I think again, this is linked to having it. This is linked to napping. You need to intentionally nap. And what I mean by that is when you took your nap, you got up and intentionally got up and got after it again. It wasn't a lazy nap where it was no different.
It's like I need my RPMs back up.
Yes.
And here's the thing. The people that don't understand the nap are the same dumb motherfuckers that don't understand a bedtime.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's the same fucking group. If you don't understand one, you're not going to understand the other. You don't understand the value of sleep. Because if you did, you would be speaking from this side of the fence. Period. Yes. End of story.
The research proves, guys, that strategic napping is a cognitive enhancement tool, not a sign of laziness. Guys, I invite you, get into your naps. We're talking boosting your brain, 5 neuroscience hacks for peak performance. Marty, you got a clear mouth. You want to do a fit tip with us, brother?
Let's go, man.
Let's do it. So Jimmy will do a fit tip, and then we're going to come back.
You got a clear mouth. That's a good one.
It's a crazy question. I'll let Keith slide today, but I knew what he meant.
You got a clear mouth. That's a new one, bro. I've never heard that.
Insane, man.
I saw Marty chewing.
But it makes fucking sense. I just would have never phrased it that way.
Me neither.
What would you have chosen, Mr.
Maybe that's Canadian.
I just would have said you ready for swallow that shit down. Let's do a fit tip. Let's go, baby.
Jimmy, let's do the fit tip with Marty, and then we're going to come back and keep this conversation going around boosting your brain, 5 neuroscience hacks for peak performance. And guys, there's something in your house right now that's going to catch you cheating. That's going to come up later on in the show. Marty's wondering too what that is. Jimmy, let's do the fit tip with Christopher Martin. Let's do it, brother.
All right, let's do it, man. The fitness tip for today. Now, we are talking about naps and replenishing, feeling rejuvenated. But at the same time, there's going to be days where you just don't feel like yourself. You just don't feel like pushing through. You might feel a little tired than normal. You might be a little more frustrated than normal. But you still got to get it in. I had a client today. He told me he sat on the edge of the bed, put his head in his hands, and he thought about not coming to the gym. I told him, welcome to the club, bro. You're not always going to feel the best. You're not always going to be pumped for your workout. In fact, you may feel like not working out or skipping your workout more days than you actually feel like working out, right? So you're not going to feel 100 all the time, but who cares? It's just part of the game. And I always tell you, look at the person who you want to be like. Look at the body that you want. Look at the father, the business person you want to be like that's active and fit. I guarantee they'll tell you the same thing. So stop sitting around waiting to feel 150% every day because we're all human. We're not perfect. And it's just part of the game. So with all that being said, still get your rest. Still take a nap like we were just talking about. But you're not going to feel 100 every time. But you got to get it done. Keep that consistency. Keep that discipline. That's the fitness tip for today.
We don't always want to go to the gym, but it should be a non-negotiable. Maybe not.
Absolutely.
It is a non-negotiable, damn it.
It is. Yep, absolutely.
And one of the other hacks we can get after is getting those naps and getting those sleeps in, guys, effectively. We're talking boosting your brain, 5 neuroscience hacks for peak performance. And coming up in later on in the show, I got a revealing revelation. There's something revealing revelation. Good words there, Uncle Keith. There is something in your house that's going to catch you cheating. If you don't know about it, you want to tune into the show here. All right, guys, let's continue the conversation. Boosting your brain, 5 neuroscience hacks for peak performance. The memory palace advantage. Research confirms that the ancient memory. So here we go. Humans remember images 10 times better than text or lists because their visual processing systems evolve. When you transform information, what the hell am I got here? Yeah, the dopamine expectation hack. This is going to talk about dopamine. His studies show that dopamine release is maximized, and there's a significant difference between expectation and actual outcomes. Johnny, you and I were talking yesterday a little bit about hacking dopamine and so forth, and ways that we can increase dopamines and so forth. Let's lean into dopamine and peptides. And guys, I'm introducing peptides into the conversation because they are they appear to be coming into more fitness and wellness conversations than ever before. And I want to speak a little bit about them and how they weave their way into the conversation around boosting your brain and neuroscience hacks, and how we can use some of these peptides to stimulate our dopamine transmitters. Johnny.
Well, I think the first thing we got to understand with peptides are kind of misunderstood. Generally speaking, yes. People don't understand them. So we got to, I guess one of the things to think about is it's basically just asking the body to do more of something or possibly less of something. You know, as to where like, let's say that like in Western medicine, we have Tylenol or ibuprofen. Like ibuprofen is going to reduce swelling. Well, that's it's a pill you're going to take that, has side effects from, outside agents, so to speak, right? Chemicals and shit. What if you could just like ask the body to, it's like flipping a switch, like a light switch that says, hey, let's reduce that inflammation rather than actually taking a pill with chemicals to get the job done. See, peptides a lot of it's naturally occurring. It's not even patentable thing, which is kind of really weird for the medical field because they're used to keeping everything on the down low until they can patent it, and then they charge up a storm, blah, blah, blah. It's a business. But they're peptides for everything. And the biggest challenge with peptides, like I've kept quiet on it for a long time. When they first kind of hit the market, I was good with it. But then it became so popular that there's all these different companies that were coming out and they were doing it just for the dollar bill. Mm-hmm. And because it's unregulated, peptides are completely unregulated. It's literally, it's for research material, meaning not for human consumption. But, keep in mind, there's been a lot of so is the goddamn vaccine. So that kind of gives you an idea of how sometimes these different things are used in this category. But what the problem was is that once these different companies started coming out and realized there was no regulations, they just started making this crap and sometimes just putting nothing in a bottle and selling it to people. And so that's why I kind of went quiet, because by me endorsing it, people say, oh, John Anderson says XYZ about peptides, I'm going to go do this. And then they don't know where to get it. For that matter, neither did I as a good source. And then they're getting crap. And, there were people even getting sick from, I guess you'd say, not clean variations of what was supposed to be a peptide. So as time's gone forward, there's finally some really good companies coming out. I've actually connected with a couple of them. So I do endorse, and I will talk about, and I actually will share what I do and how I do it so that people can, and I'm not telling you what to do, just telling you what works for me, and you can kind of take a bite out of that. But what Keith and I were talking about was actually, so it's a peptide called tesofensine. And really and when it comes down to, I like to simplify shit, so I'm not going to get into the science, because the science, I understand what it's doing, but I'm about simplification. And so basically what this does, this has to do with like primarily three brain chemicals, which is dopamine, serotonin, and epinephrine, a little bit of oxytocin. So actually 4. And it's basically has to do with the reuptake. So it keeps this stuff available in your system. And for many people, through life and everything else, the body is not functioning the way it should. So a lot of these chemicals are coming out not in a balanced way. And so when you take this peptide, it's asking the body, hey, let's kind of restructure how this is released. And for me, I actually have noticed quite, I don't want to say significant, but clear change. Now, keep in mind, I'm using a very, very small dose of this peptide called tesofensine, like 1/4 milligram would be 250 micrograms. When it's actually prescribed, they use this peptide for people that are obese, because what it does, funny enough, even though I'm not obese, I totally resonate with the idea behind this, because they give it to people that are obese, which makes them a little bit more level-headed. So they stop doing the self-sabotaging behavior patterns, such as eating, which God knows that's something that still lives inside of me from the fat little fucker I used to be. But in the medical field, they would give like 1 to 2 milligrams of this per day, which is a massive dose, right? So in essence, when I look at peptides in terms of biohacking, it's understanding what something's for and using just enough for you to get the benefit of it. So for me, I can use 1/4 milligram or 250 micrograms every other day or every day and get it really sharpens me up. But keep in mind, it's not only the reason I was drawn to this peptide, because it's not just for the sharpening mentally. It also, there was the studies that show it helps with Parkinson's, which I'm not too worried about at this point in my life, but also Alzheimer's. So it has to do with cognitive function. I'm probably more interested in the cognitive function of any sort of a biohack than the physical part, So there's a perfect example of a peptide, and it's something that I actually am really enjoying using. And there's one of hundreds of these things. I should probably say thousands. They have peptides for just about everything. Me personally, I can only share the stuff that has to do with, the sharpening the brain. Of course, I also played with a lot. I shouldn't say played with. I've used and created protocols for basically wellness and healers, like if, coming back from an injury. And then there's even peptides that will help you, help your body release more growth hormone, help your body burn extra body fat. So it's a laundry list of what goes on with this stuff. But the major key is to understand it. And more importantly, make sure that you have a source that's reputable and have an idea of what to do. Don't just start willy-nilly diving into this shit thinking that it's all good. It's just like any other type of biohack. You need to understand how to do it to get the results you're looking for.
Guys, we're talking boosting your brain, neuroscience hacks for peak performance, leaning into a little bit of a conversation around peptides. Hey, Marty, as you've been hanging out, working in the gym and hanging out with folks and training guys, I know that the word peptide has been coming across my desk more often than ever. Can I make the same assumption with you too? People are curious and asking you questions about it too?
This is honestly my first time hearing it.
Interesting.
Honest to God, never heard of it before. So
yeah, I know.
Gave me a lesson on it.
I know that Adam Host and I were talking about it a couple months back as well with Shaken Host. He was asking me some questions about it. And I know that we had a fellow on the show, the Florida doctor. What was his name, Johnny and Marty? I can't remember his name. We also think talked about,
who you're talking about though. Yeah.
with that as well, actually. So guys, we're talking neuroscience hacks, and we're going to keep talking more around peptides and lean into some of Johnny's experience over the coming weeks and days and months and shows. And if you guys want to learn more, I would invite you to check out John Anderson's University. He's got some information over there as well. You can connect with Johnny over on LinkedIn as well, guys. Instagram. Connect with Johnny on LinkedIn. He'll get you guys hooked up with more information on that, which as over the days and weeks and so forth. And guys, we're here every single day, so we're not going anywhere.
Well, on that level, brother, just say real quick, Marty, it's really kind of one of those things that's hit more of the high performers. It's either like the gym bros, right? That's one level. They want to put on muscle. That's like the bros. Or it's the high performers that are like, okay, I can biohack my brain. I can biohack. They want to perform on all levels, and that's what my community is about. It's basically a weekly live stream, and then it's basically you're going to have all of the archives. So if you come into it, you're going to have every archive where we basically break down all these different peptides, what they're for. And I even share what I feel works best for me. So it's a great way to gather the information if you're looking for it. But I can understand why, in terms of like knowing your client base, why it probably is not really infiltrated that market yet.
Yeah. We're going to get into the Harvard Medical School research demonstrates that 50 minutes of daily practice creates deeper brain changes than hours of weekly effort. Yes, you heard me clearly. 15 minutes of daily practice will create deeper brain changes than hours of weekly effort. It's called neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to form new neural connections, responding more effectively, consistent daily. It's called reps, guys, getting the reps in, right? And this finding revolutionizes how we approach skill development, showing that brief daily practice triggers more robust neural pathway development than weekend learning marathons. And it just goes back to what Johnny and Marty, myself, suggest, influence, encourage, which is daily habit stacking, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 50 minutes, right? The other thing is that we got Johnny and Marty is the multimodal learning multiplier. Stanford reveals that engaging your motor system while learning activates multiple brain networks. John, you do this. When you handwrite notes instead of typing, you activate your motor cortex regions that enhance memory. Marty, this multimodal approach creates redundant neural pathways, making information more accessible and durable in long memory storage. Guys, we're giving you hacks here today, how to stimulate the brain and how to get after it every single day. And then lastly, guys, we've got some additional research from the Sainsbury Wellcome Center identifying 21 evidence-based brain optimization techniques recommended, saying that there's things we can do. For example, 30-minute power naps between 1 and 3, finding those comfortable places, writing things down, and doing the basic things on a daily basis, which will help us activate those, boost your brain. 5 neuroscience hacks for peak performance. All right, you're here with Keith, John, and Marty here on Mornings Live with Keith and Friends. We're going to do the lifestyle tip, and then we're going to come back. We got AJ joining us. Marty, when do you got to leave, brother? Because I want to tease this segment here on the item in the house that guys are going to get caught and women are going to get caught cheating with.
I got a couple minutes after 9.
All right, so but Jimmy, let's do the lifestyle tip with John Anderson. We'll bring in AJ and we'll keep the conversation going. And I'm gonna the big reveal. What the item is in your house, it's going to catch you guys cheating. Let's do it, Jimmy. Let's get Johnny's lifestyle tip up right now.
All right, if you're trying to make progress, but you're still thinking that it's a physical thing, granted, being in shape physically does help making progress. There's no question about it. You can take many high performers, even Arnold Schwarzenegger will say the habits he developed in the gym, he was able to apply those to his business, his acting career, and everything else. And that's what helped him be successful. But make no mistake about it, it starts up here first. It's a mental thing. So what I'm here to explain to you is you need to invest in yourself, but you need to start mentally first. Reframe your mind. Help yourself by looking at things differently mentally. Now, sounds easy, but really when it comes down to it, if you just invest a few minutes a day helping yourself understand how you can be better mentally, there's so many things you can do. You can read to work on your concentration. You can literally drop into my LinkedIn DMs, and I will give you what I call the monster mindset. It's a mental handbook that'll get you moving in the right direction. But what I'm here to explain to you is you got to understand that it's mental first. When you reframe your mind and you start to see things from a different perspective, everything will fall into place much, much faster. That being said, if you focus on the right things, you're going to get what you want much more efficiently. And that's what this message is all about. Rock and roll.
Lifestyle tip with John Anderson every single day, 8:45 Eastern time. Yeah, good timing over there. A little bit of a morning cough here. Hey, Marty. There's old Keith there standing in front of his camera there, old half naked there, trying to just taking his pictures on a morning basis here. There you go. We're getting after it here on the show. All right. So guys, we've been having this morning we get into, hey Marty, here you go, brother. There you go.
Give me a pitch, brother.
Yeah.
There we go.
We're gonna get Jimmy, we're gonna get Johnny off the show for a few minutes. He can go for a piss. And I'm gonna talk with Marty a few minutes here. Marty, we got a couple minutes here. I'm gonna tell you, we got a surprising household item that could expose cheating partners, man. And I read this, I found this, and I was like, dude. So first of all, don't cheat. That would be the first step.
I think that's pretty well known fact. Probably shouldn't do that.
But this here, private investigator, a lady was suspecting her husband was cheating, and did a little bit of research and got the private investigator. And I was like, oh, what's that? Jimmy, I see AJ in the lab there in his room there. Let's bring him in here. What's going on, AJ?
Hey guys, sorry, I was getting frozen in the StreamYard thing there.
Oh, I thought maybe you were driving to the lab here this morning. I was like, oh, where's Hudgers?
I would have loved to be driving to the lab this morning. That would have been awesome. But no, it took me a couple logins there. I kept getting stuck in the pre-room here.
Yeah. I love it. Hey, I've been teasing this all hour here, AJ. The surprising household item that could expose cheating partners. It's in your house. It's in your house right now. It's in everybody's house. We talk about it daily. It's part of a human's habit stack. Any thoughts, Mr. Zeglin, before we get into your conversation this morning?
Like what it might be?
Yeah, and any thoughts of what it might be?
I mean, it's got to be something electronic, right?
It'll be something crazy, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be like your TV or your phone or your Alexa or something like that, or your
yes.
I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna share it with you guys in coming up here on the show. I
got one.
Yeah,
hang on. This is my final guess. Maybe like your Ring camera or something, because you end up seeing who's coming and going.
Yeah, that's a pretty good guess. Well, we're going to reveal coming up the surprising household item that can expose cheating partners. I will say, John and Marty and AJ, on the business side of things, I've learned two things with how we're building the show that are actually working. So when I tease segments coming up, I see watch time stick around. Shh, don't tell anybody. But when I tease things, people stick around longer. And the second thing is, we've been running these video clips, like Jimmy, we run these, like to open the show up and then open the segments up. People stick around longer too. So we're doing these extra things to extend the watch time for everybody. So thanks everybody for leaning into our fun here. But hey, I got something fun to speak about with you guys here for a little bit here. We talk about relationships often on this show. And sometimes the idea of trying new things with your partner can seem daunting. The truth is that doing things differently will not only keep your relationship healthy, it will also stimulate your mind, your heart. And with our brother from another mother, AJ Zeglin, owner of Invictus Performance, Mindfield expert, I thought we could take a few minutes, guys, to talk about how to reinvent your relationship without the fluff. Because I'm suspecting, Johnny, you've been married forever. AJ, you've been married forever. I was married once. I'm in my second one. We got our brother here, Marty, who's on his way to get married one day soon. Soon, whenever that happens for Marty. Let's talk about how we can reinvent relationships as we go about. And I'll start first and throw it on the table here, Age, which is how about letting go of the past, right? So maybe you have a fight with your partner or your girlfriend, and you just can't let go of a situation, and it just keeps happening and happening and happening. AJ, talk about with our audience how you can encourage somebody to get their head wrapped around forgiveness.
Yeah, well, it's all going to come down to communication, right? Like we've talked about lots. You have to be able to communicate that with each other, right? You can't just assume that the other person has gotten over it. You can't make the assumption that everything is okay and we're not going to think about it again. You have to actually talk to each other. And if there is something that you're having a hard time letting go of, you have to let the other person know, and you got to talk it out and talk it through. There'll be a reason why I kind of get stuck there, right? Maybe we had something like that happen to us in the past before. So when it happened again, we're kind of extra sensitive to it. Or maybe we, maybe it's linked to some sort of fear that we have of being abandoned, or, we all kind of come with our own baggage and our own experiences into stuff. So if there's, something that we're kind of sensitive to, there's usually a reason for it, but you got to be able to talk it out, right? Because if you just keep it inside, internal, right? Like we said, it just lives in that part of your brain, in your midbrain, in the amygdala. And from there, it just grows and grows until it's just so overwhelming. And now you're snapping at the other person or having a strong reaction to them. And they're like, about something that happened weeks or months ago. And they're sitting there being like, hey, what's going on? What did I do? I don't understand, why you're so angry. So just like anything, man, it all comes down to just communication. You have to talk to each other, right?
Marty, are you a forgiver?
What was that? You froze up?
Are you a forgiver, Marty? Do you forgive easily?
Oh, I would. It depends, but I think I forgive pretty easily. We're human. People fuck up. So, for me to expect someone to be perfect and not make a mistake when I'm a big mistake maker like Johnny, it wouldn't even make sense,
Yeah.
Well, I boil it down, man. I boil it down. You know me, I got to make it simple. So think of it. I look at it like this. There's a line in the sand. You're either on the side of forgiveness, you're on the side of basically building a grudge. And if you're holding a grudge is not helping anybody. I mean, holding a grudge is like fucking drinking rat poison, thinking that you're fucking hurting somebody else. You're hurting yourself. And in hurting yourself, you're hurting the relationship.
Yeah.
So I just try to make it when I find myself in that position, I'm like, okay, I have a choice to make, because I'm not, you can't straddle the line. You only straddle it as you move from one side to the next. That straddle is just an instant. So am I forgiving or am I grudging? And once I ask myself that question, it's real easy to do the right thing.
You know what's fascinating about forgiveness? As we lean into this conversation about how to reinvent your relationship, forgiveness is so much attached to ego, isn't it, AJ? Like you really have to, whether it's a man or a woman or a business relationship, work, like moving your ego aside to forgive, man, that's a powerful decision to make, AJ.
Yeah, big time, right? Because it's almost like everyone always wants to be right.
I was just going to say wants to win, right? Yes.
It's so important for people, or people think it's so important for them to be right and to win. But we have to be able to redefine. We got to be able to reframe what winning or being right you know, like what's the cost of that, and what does that actually look like to us? You know, if we feel like, oh yeah, I'm winning this argument, I'm right all the time, I'm always winning, you know, and it ends up just eroding the foundation of our relationship, and then to the point where we don't have one anymore. It's like, what did you win? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you won the destruction of your relationship. Like, congratulations, right? But you know, and like we always feel like, you know, that there's a difference, and I know we've said this before, between fault and responsibility, right? And even if there's not, maybe something happens, maybe there's a disagreement, maybe there's an argument, maybe someone made a mistake or whatever. Even if you don't have fault in that situation, it doesn't mean you don't have responsibility in that situation, right?
Yes.
So I mean, you know, if someone makes a mistake, me and Melissa have been together for almost 20 years here. If she makes a mistake, you know, that's fine. Mistakes happen all the time, right? But you know, I can sit there and be like, okay, oh, it's not my fault, you did this, right? Or I can be like, well, hey, we're in this together, in a relationship together, and it's us versus the problem. It's not me versus you. We're not winning here against each other.
On the same
right?
team.
So, yeah, we're on the same team against the problem. So where's my responsibility in this? How can I help as my equal part of this couple to help work through this problem, right? And I think we just unfortunately miss that, and we get caught up in this: who's right, who's wrong, who's winning, whose fault it was, you know, and unfortunately, that can just eat away at the relationship.
How to reinvent your relationship. Myself, John Anderson, C. Marty Fit, and AJ Zuggan getting after this morning at Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Good morning, Oregon 07. I see you there. Good. Thanks for the comment. Is that Shane from The Walking Dead? Yes, it is Shane from The Walking Dead. Johnny, looking at you, brother. I admire the effort you and Terry put into Terry and John. And one of the suggestions here on this list was taking classes together, or remembering why you fell in love in the first place, or giving each other makeovers. Take a few minutes, Johnny, and talk about how you and Terry are so intentional. I know you have Terry time, but based on what you share and what you talk about, it's clear to me that you both are very intentional about continuing to always reinvent and make sure you guys are on the same team on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different layers to that. You know, and just like any relationship, we go through a certain level of a roller coaster. You go through really times that are really snug, and then they kind of get loosened up a little bit. You know, and like we just went through a time where we were in, and funny enough, I didn't really understand it like she did. So she came to me and said, look, hey, this is what's going on. I was like, whoa, goddamn. That's like, fuck, I didn't see this. Holy shit. So, but I viewed it as an opportunity to reset things better. I didn't take it, you know, like, hey, you know, I was getting a little too, as I've been starting this new company, as she says, I get so focused. Sometimes I didn't notice the things that I should. And so I guess what I'm getting at is that we are intentional, but sometimes even when you're intentional, sometimes you can get distracted. So when you do, like in my case, when that happens to me, number one, I'll hear what she says. Number two, I'll acknowledge. Number three, I use it as an opportunity to get better. Yeah. But then I think the thing that couples miss is that they're not taking care of themselves. So they end up become like Terry and I we both have set times where we take care of ourselves, not with each other. You know, I have my time, she has her time. So we're constantly working on ourselves, which means working on our own happiness, which means when we're together, we're happy with ourselves and we can be happy in our relationship. And we're always looking at ways to keep things interesting, you know? So I just think it's A, you got to focus on yourself. B, you've got to make sure that you're constantly monitoring the relationship, right? To make sure it's good. And then the next thing is to always be looking to keep things spicy, you know, try to find ways to make things a little bit different, you know, I mean, and don't let, you know, like we Terry time in many cases gets, if we don't have other commitments, is going to be we'll spend, like last night, man, we had a couple hours of intimacy, you know, and that's time that many couples end up kind of just missing out on. And I think largely because, and I'm rambling here, but largely because, like, for the men, they're not taking care of themselves. They don't have the fucking energy to do it. And if you don't have the energy to fucking get down with your wife, time to start fucking being honest with yourself. Start eating right. Start fucking moving. Do what you got to do. So you got the energy at fucking 6 o'clock at night to lay some pipe for a few hours if that's what's needed. If that's what's needed.
And while yes, intimacy can be linked to intercourse, man, there's so many levels to intimacy, right? Communication.
100%. 100%.
Spending intimate time, right? So guys, don't confuse intimacy with always having to have intercourse, right? AJ, you said something yesterday which really just hangs with me. You said it earlier, you said it last week, and you said it again yesterday here in the lab, which is, you're like, I know Melissa's not my perfect partner, and I'm not the perfect partner for her, but what I really enjoy is all the work that goes into the journey. That's the payoff of the relationship. And I've been really thinking about that, because we get so conditioned to wanting to have like the perfect relationship. Don't want to have a fight, don't want to have an argument, don't want to have a mistake. You want everything to go just quote unquote perfect. And I'm putting in air quotes. But what you said yesterday really stuck with me, which is that's actually not what it's about. It's all the moments in between. Johnny, I'm going to relate this to like dogs. Dogs, to me, fill in the color moments within your day when you're walking up the stairs and your dog wants a little belly rub, or it's these moments you don't really think about. I look at it the same way, AJ, when you talk about the journey in a relationship. Like John is like, find intimate moments. It's finding these moments within the regular day is the journey you talk about, AJ, isn't it?
Yeah, and where we would see that a lot, to connect it to something that we were talking about the other day, and even now, I know that it seems like, because me, you, and John are all married, right? And we're always like, Marty's dating, right? But if we're doing it right, we're still dating as well, right? And
just a different title.
Yeah, just a different title, right? But if you remember that that kind of excitement that you brought when you first started dating, the stuff that you would talk about, the energy that you would give the conversation, how you would hang intently off of every word that she would say, right? Because you just wanted to know everything about her. The effort that you put in, John was saying about intimacy, right? And what you're talking about, Keith, and just right now about that effort that you put in everything. You usually do that off the start of a relationship because you really want this to work. You really want this person to like you. You really want to get to know them. You know what I mean? So, I would argue that in some capacity that all of us in this room right now are all still dating, right? And hopefully we're doing a really good job at it. And probably when we feel our relationship is going the best and it's at its highest points, it's at the peaks, is probably when we're acting like we're still dating, because we just went out for dinner or went and did something together, when we were able to spend an extended amount of time on intimacy, when we've been able to have just like the greatest conversation that we've had in a long time. All those things that would show up in the infancy of dating, of a relationship. Hopefully we got those going on a regular basis, and that would usually be a good indicator that our relationship's in a good spot.
As the years go by, guys, the memories of these little moments we're talking about today will tell your love story in a way that nothing else can. So, guys, as you get through your day today, I invite you, think about ways you can reinvent your relationship.
Right? Yeah, real quick on that level, I went on that big kind of rant, but I didn't really distill it like I should have, because really what I was trying to say was one of the primary things was relationships are going to be filled with bumps,
Yep.
And if you look at those bumps as an opportunity to get better, your relationship will continue to grow. But if you ignore those bumps, your relationship will start to decay.
I love it, John. You almost did a full AJ there before.
What's that?
I said you almost did a full AJ there before. I love it that you're able to come back to it and give it to us in 2 sentences like a regular John Anderson, you know. I was worried we were rubbing off on you where, you know, it's like a 5-minute answer.
Well, yeah, because I was trying to really, what I really wanted to show was, even though we're intentional, we still have our problems.
Right.
You know, we're very intentional, you know, and like when she came to me like that, what we did was, for me, I adjusted my system because my system was faltering our relationship and I needed to change how I basically was behaving. But I looked at the situation as an opportunity to get better, not an opportunity to, you know, tuck my tail between my legs and feel sorry for myself and be a victim.
Keith, John, and AJ, Mornings in Live with Keith and friends, and our brother from another mother, Christopher Martin, as well. See Marty Fit hanging out. He's got to go here in a second, so I want to keep him and AJ because I want to get this on the table.
Yeah, I do have to roll, so
I know you do. The surprising item that could expose cheating. Here's what it is, guys. Ready? Could something as innocent as brushing your teeth reveal your darkest secrets? Today, I got a surprising story of how a simple toothbrush exposed infidelity and what this means about the technology lurking in your house. Well, get this. A private investigator, Marty, revealed how a smart toothbrush app exposed infidelity. A wife noticed unusual toothbrushing activity, times logged into the app, particularly late Friday mornings when her husband claimed to be at work. Investigators later confirmed an affair through a time-stamped and location-based data. So what was happening is she was looking at the app going, why is he brushing his teeth at this time of the day when he should be brushing his teeth at this time of the day? And then she correlated that with the ring activity, the car activity, and going, wait a minute, this dude's cheating on me. So guys, if you have an electric toothbrush at home, it's linked to a Bluetooth app, you might want to be. It's
just fucking crazy how all of this effort gets put in. I mean, how about just fucking put your effort into doing shit right to begin with?
Well, and I thought this is a good link to how to reinvent your relationship, right? So I'm like, dudes, you know, maybe having an affair and treating your smart toothbrush as an accessory might not help you, but I thought that was that's crazy, man. That's just absolutely crazy. Marty?
Yeah, if you're gonna cheat, you got to move better than that, man. You can't move it sloppy if you're gonna cheat.
There's a gap in your system there if you're getting caught with your teeth, right? So,
well, you know what though? Everything that's done in the dark comes to the light eventually. So, yeah, you're gonna get caught at some point, or it's gonna come out somehow.
That's so true, brother. That even goes with fucking hard work.
Yes,
those are both sides of the spectrum, man.
Yeah. There you go.
So, I mean, essentially, he got what he deserved. You know,
this is true. All right, Johnny. Well, I know that AJ's got to rock and roll and Marty's got to rock and roll, and the two handsome guys are left. So, AJ, what do you got?
Two handsome guys are leaving, man.
Marty, what's going on today in the gym? Oh, hey, Marty, did you fix the treadmill yesterday?
No. Yeah. Treadmill got some issues. We're getting rid of it.
AJ's like, I can relate. And I'm like, yes, I've seen AJ relating to those issues with the treadmill.
It gotta go. It's gotta go. Yep.
Remember that conversation we had maybe a month ago? That, you know, executing that conversation keeps you away from having to fucking talk about treadmills that have issues.
I'm way ahead of you, Johnny. I'm way ahead.
Good. I hope that these conversations about treadmills are motivating.
I promise it's in the works and it's being worked on daily. I promise. We got to talk offline. Yeah.
All right, baby.
AJ, what do you got going on today, pal? I know you got development camp going on. What else is going on for you today?
Yeah, today's the on ice testing for development camp, and it's also the first day of our summer high performance programs. So it'll be a busy one starting at about 9 o'clock here. It's going to get real busy for us today, but. Hey, real quick too, I just wanted to acknowledge the Oregon's 07's comment there.
Oh, yes.
That Shane from The Walking Dead. If that was in reference to myself, I just want to throw out a thank you for that, because that's John Bernthal, who's one of my favorite actors. So if there was any comparison being drawn there at all, I will gladly take that. And then also though too, he also asked, what if the other keeps on avoiding? I think probably in reference to us talking about the conversation and we communicate. I mean, sometimes we need a lot more detail or context, but just in general, sometimes it's with our delivery or our approach, right? if we approach something almost like we're accusing someone or attacking someone, or if it could even perceive to be that way, it could be, oh man, what an actor. Have you guys seen this guy and stuff? John Bernthal? This guy's one of the best actors around, man.
I love him, man. Yeah. Punisher.
He's the Punisher, man. Fury. He's in The Bear. Obviously, he was in Walking Dead. This guy's one of the greats. But I would say Oregon 07, just if we remember to lead with empathy, and to be vulnerable. So when you bring up the topic, when you bring up the conversation, if you're like, hey, I know it can be easy to avoid stuff, that's tough to talk about. I do that sometimes too, but, I'd really love to share this with you, or some sort of approach like that can sometimes kind of help get that conversation started, instead of just coming in and being like, how come you don't do this? Or how come we don't do this? And then the person instantly is defensive, and it's a little harder for them to engage in that conversation. So being vulnerable, trying to be empathetic to their situation off the start, sometimes is just a great facilitator to get that conversation moving in a positive direction.
Awesome. Good feedback, Mr. Zeglin. Good feedback. Thank you very much for that. All right, we got AJ. Marty's out of here. AJ's out of here.
See y'all tomorrow, man.
Have a good one, guys.
You too.
Have a good live, guys.
All right, Johnny, good. Those fuckers are gone, man.
And then there was two.
I was just waiting for them to leave, man. I was like, fuck that. Jimmy, when are they going to leave, man?
It's, where with the two of us left, it's Eminem, the monster and the midget.
You know what? I'm going to go out to California and get on your shoulders, and we can make contact with me riding around on your shoulders.
Do you remember the movie Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome?
How can you not, man?
Master Blaster, baby. Master Blaster.
Yes.
And it's funny because remember once Mel Gibson knocked Blaster's helmet off, he was I'm not going to say the word that I said yesterday. He was mentally challenged. So I guess if you just had to put it bluntly, forgive my terminology, everybody, you had literally a midget on the shoulders of a retard.
Jesus.
And I know these are words we're not supposed to use, but I'm just kind of laying out. Everybody has the visual. So that's basically that. Look what Keith is calling me. See, I'm being sensitive right now.
Bernard, Keith doesn't even have to change clothes for the role. No, I don't. So, you said that we're not supposed to use these words. And it's funny, man, because I'm going to keep having fun with this. I still want to find the person that says that their name is not supposed to. Because somebody is.
It all comes down to the intent of the person. We're having fun with these terms. We're not demeaning somebody. We're not trying to hurt somebody. But in unfortunately, the way that people have developed in society, they just, they're looking for any reason to get bent out of shape.
Well, that's why I want to have fun with, these, the t-shirt I know, or the who's the somebody, because somebody said you shouldn't do that. Oh yeah, I want to meet somebody. Speaking of, Johnny, you're a chess player. I got a fun conversation for us, as we work towards wrapping this baby up here today. You are a chess player, and I have nothing but admiration for that. I wish I did a better job playing chess.
I need to play more chess, but I like to play in person. I don't want to play online.
Inside the mind games, how chess teaches us to manipulate and lead. And I don't want to say manipulate in a negative way. Let's talk about manipulating and leading in a positive way. Ever wonder how some people seem to always be 3 steps ahead, whether they're outmaneuvering you in a game of chess or leading a negotiation like a grandmaster?
That's chess right there.
Yeah. Let's dive into the fascinating world of theory of mind. The cognitive ability to understand others' beliefs, emotions, and intentions, and how it's used in chess and high-stakes decision-making. Now, before I go any further, as I've gotten to know you as a human being, you strike me as somebody that does that. What I mean by that is that you are studying, I'm going to use me as a role play. You're studying my beliefs, listening intently. You're studying my emotions, you're studying my intentions, and you're using that, again, I'm not saying negatively, but
totally.
You use that information to help you negotiate, make decisions, and communicate with me. And I say that as a compliment because that to me is a good communicator who's paying attention to all of the signals. Do you follow what I'm saying, Johnny?
Totally. I mean, in like, I'll make an example.
Yes.
I like with clients,
Yeah.
I have to understand. Like, I had a guy, he's a young stud. He's like, reminds me of me. Not so much physically, but business wise. You know, he's a young entrepreneur.
Yes.
He's in his kind of mid to late 20s, and he kind of fell off with communication.
Okay.
And so I sent him, I waited for him, everybody, sometimes I don't expect someone to answer right away.
Yeah.
But once I start to realize there's enough radio silence here, I'm starting to think that this is not working in our favor.
Yes.
So what I said to him is, I said, I'm not going to use his name, of course, but I said, you're behaving, like an average man. However,
got him.
You're an elite man, and you want to be even more elite. And he piped right back up. I knew which button to push. And even he said, he goes, you pushed the right button to get me out of my chair. And all it was to get him to answer so that I could engage and get him mentally reframed so we could get back to work.
Yes. Guys, chess isn't just a game of pieces. It's a game of people. And I love Bernard's comment. I love chess. I agree in person. It's an intimate game. It is such an intimate game because, the skilled players, Johnny, you're anticipating what I might think I might do. Like when you're playing with me, want to play with me? You're thinking what I might do. And you're saying to yourself, if Keith does this, I need to think about this. And based on what Keith's emotional habits are on how I've gotten to know him, he might do this, then which is this. That takes a high order of mental modeling that, again, people in my experience don't often think about, which is why I'm enjoying this conversation with you, because it enlightens folks to think about, the emotional communication, the verbal communication, what buttons to push so you can help them get to the decision you want them to, especially in the world of sales.
Well, and I think also too, there's a certain level on the most basic level. Like, I am always planning ahead. It's just the way that I keep things moving. I'm always tomorrow's planned. My mind is always thinking ahead. So I'm when I look around, I see, okay, that's happening right now. I bet tomorrow this will be happening. And I'm always connecting these dots with everything all around me, whether it be, goodness, even like something as silly as someone's behavior, or something as silly as somebody in traffic, although I'm never really in traffic, but it's like you start to connect all these dots because you're either playing catch up or you're working ahead. And when you're working ahead, that's what you see. When you're working behind, you're always dealing with the flip side of what we're talking about.
Yes.
And so I think when you get your mind framed to always be looking ahead, you start to see these things, you start to see things without really even trying.
Yeah. Bernard coming in. This is a great day for this discussion. Bernard, it's always a great day for this discussion. So let's talk about how manipulation has a dark application. So I think we're seeing it right now with some of our politics happening around the world. The same mind reading skill can take a dark turn. Manipulation exploits others' beliefs and emotions using tactics like misdirection. Look over there, look over there. Emotional baiting, and then modeling others' weaknesses. This is theory of the mind weaponized, Johnny, and used often, in dark triad situations where people who use empathy without compassion. But then let's lean it into real world negotiation and leadership so we can give our folks something to think about as they go through their day today. Johnny, in business, theory of mind leads to smarter, more strategic deals. Again, think about it, right? When you're sitting down with a great negotiator, as you probably are, you don't just consider what you want, you're predicting what I want. And vice versa. And it's called...
I want some of that information out of your mind. So I have, like, one of the rules that I have in a negotiation is he who speaks first loses. Now, it's not really that you lose, because when it comes down to it, you don't really want a winner and a loser negotiation. You want two semi-winners, or even two semi-losers. You want both people to be fair. It has to be fair. It doesn't really work, at least if there's a partnership being involved or being developed. But to understand where someone is, I always like to have the other person speak first. That's one of kind of my rules to a negotiation.
Interesting. There was a big hockey agent here in Winnipeg, Johnny, who signed a big contract with a player years ago, and his mantra was this: both of us don't want to win. Both of us want to leave with a little bit of because if we're both leaving with the kind of we both feel
that's right. If it's a partnership, everybody has to have the same noise.
Yeah,
whether it's fuck yes or whether it's
exactly.
Both sides need to share that sound.
Right. And then what he made I really enjoyed his comment too, because if you've got more from me, my expectations automatically expect more from you, and we're going to fail because now what's happened is that you've won the negotiation and now I'm reacting to it. So we both rather kind of go, and keep kind of being that moment because we're still meeting in the middle. And guys, it's called recursive reasoning, enabling nuanced messaging, win-win strategies, and smarter emotional framing. And guys, developmental pathways, we're not born with the skill, we build it. Right, Johnny? Children learn to understand others' minds in stages and interventions like storytelling, mindfulness, and social modeling. But as we age, it often stops. So strengthening theory of mind means we communicate better, resolve conflict faster, and lead empathetically. So what's the practical takeaway? Put the reps in, right? Be curious when you're asking conversations with folks, right? Lean into where they are and trying to understand, especially as a leader. And Johnny used the word buttons. Try to understand what buttons to push, and not always in a negative way, but what's that's going to make them
manipulation doesn't have to be a bad word.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
I mean, I manipulate clients all the time to get them to understand how capable they truly are.
Yes, exactly. And guys, maybe you want to play some chess or do some online chess just to try the whole experience out. But again, theory of mind is your hidden superpower. And I'll tell you, I use it in the way that I communicate, because I lead with empathy, lead with compassion, and I'm always trying to understand what buttons I could help move Johnny forward, Marty forward, AJ forward through the power of communication. It's really that, right? So use it wisely, and you won't just win more games or conversations. You're going to win more trust, and often I hope you'll leave those conversations with your partner going, you guys both won if that happens. So, Johnny, let's look at the comments before I got to walk you out of here, brother. We got B Drive coming in with every good routine has to have a fall guy. Yeah, that's Keith and Johnny's routine. And Bernard, I'll keep giving you the t-shirts, man. Keep giving you the t-shirt ideas, and we can go into partnership with them. Bernard's coming in with, I had a neighbor lady. She would send her husband upstairs, light candles, get undressed, and wrap in a sheet. Then set up chess. Hold on a second.
Hold on, say that again.
I had a neighbor lady she would send her husband upstairs, light candles, get undressed, and wrap in a sheet, and then set up chess. Oh,
wrap in a sheet,
and then
set up chess. What's the wrap in the sheet part? I'm not quite understanding the wrap in the sheet.
Then it continues. He says, then invite me to come play a game. It was very unusual, but a great lesson in the intimate game of chess. Bernard, I think that's going to have to be a story for the show when you join us one day on the show. What's up, batshit crazy? Good to have you in the lab this morning. Always love having you in here. And then B Drive comes back, and she'd end like a Penn State handshake, so to speak. Yes, exactly. Right. We're also just kind of leaving our way here. And Lady Drew, yeah, there we go. And then Bernard, likewise, if we all just have to win here. All right. Well, listen, guys, what a great conversation. I did have another one funny, John. I'm going to leave it for the table later this week here. Dude, I found something, and I like to find stuff that I think our audiences would be as curious about like I am and you are. Dude, I found something. The surprising truth behind the wheel's invention. We're not going to talk
about invention?
The wheel.
The wheel, okay.
It's funny because we go through these things that we have these things in our life that sometimes you think, where did that come from? Well, I found some surprising truth behind it. We're not going to talk about it today. We'll talk about it later this week, but how the wheel was invented, where it was invented, researchers found the wheel was maybe invented differently than we thought it was. So anyways, there you go. And then Bernard comes back, purely platonic, nothing sexual about it. Bernard, I'm damn well curious, man. So I'm sitting. What are you sitting there in the chair? Are you naked in the sheet there too, Bernard? And everybody's naked playing naked chess.
Well, that makes sense. If it's platonic, wrapping in the sheet makes sense now.
Yes. Awesome. Johnny, fun one today, brother. What do you got going on today?
Let's see here. Going straight through that doorway, get my training in.
Nice.
I've got a podcast 8 o'clock. I've got a team meeting at 9:30, client call at 11, nap at noon.
Yeah.
And, just my shit's laid out, baby. I'm ready to rock.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I got a pretty active day here today as well. Looking forward to it. I got Cornelius Kirk joining me here in a few moments. So I'm going to walk you out of here. I'm going to start our community corner segment, and I'm looking forward to, Bernard, I was not naked. Thank you, Bernard, for clarifying that. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, brother, another fun one today. We got a guest joining us tomorrow morning for our 7:15, our 6:15 slot tomorrow with you. I'm sorry, 5:15 slot for you. So 6:15, I should say, slot tomorrow. So looking forward to getting after it again with you tomorrow, less than 24. Have an awesome day. And guys, you want to find Johnny, connect them on LinkedIn. Go connect with John Anderson University as well. Go find his stuff over there. He's got great information over there, especially if you're in the world looking to get more educated on peptides. I can't encourage you enough to go connect with Johnny over at John Anderson University. Go find him on LinkedIn. And of course, you'll find him and me every single day here, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Because we got the other guys, Johnny, like fucking AJ and Marty. They come and go, but we're always here. Just you and me.
That's it. That's it. We're the steadfast ones. We're the ones that when all the dust settles, we're still standing.
You got the midget and the mammoth still standing.
Well, we got to give me an inappropriate name, because if you're going to be the midget, that's a word we're not supposed to use. What kind of a word are we not supposed to use that describes me?
We're going to have to find one for you.
I guess we'll call me the retard, I guess. Or Master Blaster.
I knew you were going to say that. Get the hell out of here.
Have a good live, brother.
You too, brother. Take care. All right, Johnny's going to get out of here. You're left with me, Uncle Keith, the little man himself, Jimmy, and we're left with producer Jimmy. The only taller guy on the show than Uncle Keith right now is producer Jimmy. And Jimmy right now, I can see him going, what? He's just frantically typing away going, ha, 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 ha. Jim, I'm taller than somebody. I'm taller than Jimmy. Oh my God. Yeah. B-Drive. M&M melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Bernard, we would partake of the herbs and play a game sometime too. Yes, I love it, man. You know what, Bernard? I got to tell you, man. Dude, I love having you hang out on the show. I suspect we're more alike than maybe we both even think, actually. Hanging with just crushing herb and playing chess in a blanket. Bernard, I have a visual in my head. You have no idea. Go to your call. Go to your call. All right, let's get to the community corner. Oh, man, where the hell am I? Okay, let's get to the community corner, Jimmy. I had the wrong one open here. All right, let's get after it. Let's get after it. Boom, boom. What if everything you believe about success, respect, or even mowing your own lawn is wrong? It's time for the community corner where we connect LinkedIn and Substack on Mornings Live with Keith and friends. Myself, producer Jimmy, my buddy, B-Drive Equipment, Bernard over there in the comments. All right, today's stories are about flipping the script, challenging old habits, and showing up different because, fellas, if you're running the same routines, you're getting the same results. Cornelius Kirk is joining us in a few moments. We celebrated him on the community corner here a few weeks back. He's joining the show in a couple minutes. All right, let's shake things up and see what's working out there in the real world. And we're going to make it sound just like this to start it off. Boom. All right, what if I told you that everything you've been told about success is wrong? Well, Hussein Halleck brings the fire with a take that smashes the old school definition of making it. He sat across from billionaires with every material comfort, and guess what? Most are still restless and searching. Yeah. Not Bernard, though. Not Adam Holroyd. Not Lady Drew. Oh, no. They're focused. They're aware. They're intentional. They're getting after it. Meanwhile, this guy's been seeing people in refugee camps and slums experience more joy and real connection than folks with $100 million in the bank. What's the point? Chasing someday is a trap. Success isn't about achievement. It's about choice, presence, and owning your moment. You don't need to control every variable or even hit every milestone. You just need to decide how you show up today, right now. So fellas, here's the big mother question. Are you still waiting for someday yet? Or are you ready to choose what matters now? Or are you going to wait for one day? Or are you going to be that guy who says, oh, I know what I got to do. Cornelius, I see you there, brother. I see you there twice on the horizontal. We got to get you onto the vertical too, pal. Jimmy, I think Cornelius is failing at the IKEA instructions. We can't send Cornelius to IKEA because I think he's going to build the cabinet backwards. Yeah, I just think so because I missed that page of the instructions. I see you trying, Cornelius. You keep getting after it, brother. It's page 4 in the IKEA instructions, Cornelius. That's what's going to tell you to get onto that vertical stream there. All right, let's move on there, guys. Stephanie Moreau says resilience. Yeah, resilience, baby, is a skill, not a trait. And most teams aren't weak. They're just stuck in the wrong feedback loops. Yeah. Instead of forcing yourself to stay positive, Stefan says, ask better questions. What's the smallest win today? When did we already overcome something like this? How can we make this challenge fun? Well, the secret is in stacking up emotional wins, creating team-based bonds and rewarding progress. Because right now, not at some imaginary finish line. The best part, the journey itself, starts to feel good, not just the victory lap. So, are you engineering your day for wins or just waiting for the storm to pass? Resilience isn't about white-knuckling through. It's about building your own momentum, one little win at a time. All right. I'm going to go back to the drill. How to lose your kids' respect before you even raise your voice. Well, Jeff Wickersham delivers a wake-up call for dads, and honestly, for anyone who's a role model in their house. Most of us are eroding respect with small habits, long before we ever lose our temper. Are you saying one thing and doing another, always busy, apologizing without a real change, distracted during conversations, complaining instead of taking action? These habits don't just kill respect. They quietly destroy connection. Yeah, that's what they do. Are you modeling what you want to see in your kids or just hoping they'll ignore your bad days? As Jeff says, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be intentional every single day. Yep, that's it. Guys, you want to talk about freedom and real wealth? Well, next story, Jeff Rose has a take that's going to mess with your definition of rich. When he was broke, he cut his own grass because he had no choice. He made more money, hired someone else to do it. Now, he's back to mowing it himself, not because he has to, but because he likes the quiet, the thinking title, the feeling of not being needed for an hour. He's coached millionaires who still can't wait to sit still. They're exhausted chasing the next thing and missing the point. What's Jeff's lesson? Real wealth isn't just about having money. It's about having options and actually choosing the ones that give you peace. So nation, what's your vision? What's your version of cutting your own grass? All right, remember, that's it for the Community Corner. Success isn't always what you were told. Resilience is a skill you built. And sometimes the richest thing you can do is just slow down and enjoy the moment. If you want your story featured, I invite you to follow us on Substack and LinkedIn and tag us in your next post so you can be featured in the next Community Corner right here on Mornings Lab with Keith and Friends. Boom, boom. Looking back at the comments before we bring Cornelius Kirk into the lab. We got Bernard coming in. I currently look life an apostle with long hair and beard. B. Swami, my friends call me. Yes, baby. I currently look like an apostle with long hair. I get you. Tiny home is an understatement for my current discipline. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, Lady Drew hanging out in the comments as well. Okay, Jimmy, I see the dude's got himself sorted out on the vertical feed, the horizontal feed. I think he's going to pass the IKEA test. I do. I think we're going to get that cabinet built by Cornelius Kirk. In Michigan, you cut your grass about every 8 weeks. Is that true, Cornelius? I'm sorry, is that true there at B Drive? Well, it depends what grass you're cutting, Bernard. Yeah, I think what's that take? I guess about 8 weeks. Yeah. All right, let's do it. This guy discovered that 211 out of 250 military men feel like they have no real male friends to confide in. That statistic changed his entire life. We're about to dive into why modern manhood is under attack and one father of 6 is doing about it. Today, we got Cornelius Kirk with us today, father of 6, co-host of the Bro Code Show, and the man behind the Bold Stand movement. Let's bring him into the lab. Jimmy, let's bring in this morning's in the Lab with Keith and Friends Community Corner Spotlight, Cornelius Kirk.
What's up, Keith? What's up, brother? How are you?
Good. How are you, pal?
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Excited.
Oh, I'm so concerned you weren't going to figure out how to build the cabinet.
You don't want me building your IKEA cabinet, man. You don't.
I knew that about you. I was watching you figure it out going, okay, is it the horizontal stream? Is it the vertical stream? Cornelius, you got to look at the page 4, man. You got to look at the page 4 of the instructions. Dude, where are you joining me from today, pal?
So actually, I'm in North Carolina. I live in Clayton, North Carolina.
Nice.
Born and raised in Michigan, though. So
okay, cool. We got Bernard from Michigan. We got Lady Drew all the way down in South Carolina, I believe it is. So we got the Carolinas here joining us today as well. Dude, you're the guy who turned your own childhood trauma into superpower for helping others and heal. You've been featured on PBS discussing the unspoken pain that Black men carry. You won awards for your community work, and you somehow managed to balance being a corporate leadership veteran with being a mental health advocate who isn't afraid to get vulnerable. And you finally made it to the show. We celebrated Cornelius with David Landis 6 months ago, brother. I'm really happy to have you here today, my friend.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me.
Tell me about your show. Tell me about your show before we get into it.
Say again. Sorry.
Tell me about your show. You got a podcast, the Bro Code?
Yeah. So actually, I pivoted into it's called 6 Minutes with Us.
Nice.
And it's about relationships. I think relationships are also under attack. So I think a lot of, and especially men, a lot of men are struggling within relationships. And I say this because they're struggling with themselves. So how can I have a healthy relationship if I don't have a healthy relationship with myself? And so 6 Minutes with Us, it's actually me and my wife having open conversations about life in general. So really excited about that pivot.
Dude, I got to have some fun with you, man. So we talk on the show all the time about life expectancy work. And because science says that if we're having more sex, whether with ourselves or with our partners, we're living longer. Well, dude, so I'm thinking there's got to be a reason why you called it what's your show called? The
6 Minutes with Us. So we just have, first of all, people have short attention spans now. So we just do 6 minute videos about what's going on in our lives. And we're talking about topics that most maybe people won't talk about on camera.
Well, dude, I'm telling you, man, because research is saying that average sex with our partners is less than 8 minutes. So your 6 minute show is perfect.
That's great.
6 minute show, 6 kids, Cornelius. Guys, if you want the expert, you got to listen to Cornelius' show, because in 6 minutes, you're going to know what you need to do. You're going to get it all done. It's just, dude, you're just dropping nuggets already.
That's right. That's right, Keith.
Cornelius, you literally said that most adults are still living on 100 pieces of candy, just dressed up as Amazon fast food and subscriptions. What do you mean by that?
Just a point that most people are hiding. I mean, we're just coping. We're just numbing, and we're never really, like, I guess I'll leave it like this. I'll say that the most important thing is that we're treating the symptom.
Yes.
We're not willing to go to the root. And if you don't get to that root, the pattern just keeps happening over and over and over. And that's what we see in our society. Yeah.
It's when I think the root of that is, in many ways can be rooted in vulnerability, which is so difficult for men to lean into. And you posted about vulnerability being the key to leadership. And I'll tell you, I got a glass off for this one. When I discovered in my journey in life what empathy was, because I'll be honest, brother, I was in my 30s still not fucking understanding what empathy was. Right? I had to learn that. I had to learn empathy. I had to learn vulnerability. When I learned those two things, hold on, I became a great leader, because empathy and leadership unlocked magic for me.
Yeah.
True story, man. Like true story. Right. So as someone who advocates for men being emotional, tell me, have you ever cried during a business meeting? And if so, how did that go?
So I have. And let me be honest about this. For decades, I didn't cry. For at least 2 decades. I'd say my 20s and my 30s.
You and me both. I wasn't taught to. I didn't know how to. I was shunned. I'm 53. What are you, 30, 32?
No, I'm 51. So
Dude,
right
same,
there, right
okay,
with you.
good for you. Yeah. So then we were raised in the same era, which was we don't show tears because that's weakness.
Yeah.
Brother, tell me more.
Yeah. So what I'll say is I remember being in an interview with some of the top execs, and it was a panel interview with like 10 people. And I was so passionate about my work.
Yeah.
I broke out in tears.
Yes.
And all the men just kind of like, oh my, like they didn't know what to do. A couple of them start crying.
Yeah.
Bro, it was such a breakthrough moment for me.
Yes.
It's so important. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like,
no.
Doesn't make me it doesn't make me weak. It makes me a human. That's it. Period. Do you have are your 6 children? How many boys, how many girls? I have 2 boys. The oldest is a boy. The youngest is a boy. So I have a bookcase.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So my oldest one, it's funny. He's 31. I didn't teach him about that because I didn't know about it. My youngest one is getting a whole different version of who I am as a father. And so I'm actually having to go back and have conversations with my 31-year-old grown son about emotions and empathy because we didn't talk about it.
Yeah. That's a powerful statement. How you parenting the first one compared to the 6th one, right? And your journey as a human being, I can relate, brother. So I'm part of. I have a blended family. I have 2 of my own children. I have a 3rd bonus child. My bonus is 9. My own is 18. And I've been active in parenting all 3 of them. Me as a parent for 18 was different than me as a parent as 9. So I'm intrigued to hear about your journey. Is that again something we don't talk about as men or even as parents often? I find.
Yeah. So when you talk about being raised, and I didn't have my father in the home, so I didn't have a male example. So I was practicing.
Yeah.
I had no idea who it was to be a man, and number 2, who it was to be a husband, and number 3, who it was to be a father. So I was kind of guessing. And so the journey, I'm like 10 different men now at this age. 10 different men, bro. And that's going to continue because I'm going to continue to grow.
Awesome.
You know, and so it's funny. Sometimes I'll be talking to my old friends and they'll be addressing me based on who I used to be 20 years ago.
Oh,
and I don't even know that guy. He's dead. No offense. He's gone.
Yeah.
So it's really special when men embrace that though. And just, it's okay to say, I don't know. It's okay to say, hey man, I need help.
Yeah.
And all these things. Yeah. And that's when you talk about masculinity, that's strength. Healthy masculinity is strength. It's power.
Yes.
And so leaning into that and transparency, I'll say men struggle with the word vulnerability because it's like, oh, I'm gonna get hurt. It's more transparency. It's a play on words. The point is, it's okay to say I don't have it all figured out. It's okay to say I'm hurting. All those things are just human things, man. It's okay. It's okay. And so it's funny when you talk about a lot of men won't do it actually because they're afraid of what women will think, and women want that. They want that connection. So we got this disconnection between the genders a little bit. So.
Hanging out with Cornelius Kirk, myself, Keith Billis here on Mornings in Live with Keith and friends. We celebrated Cornelius a couple weeks ago, actually a few months ago here on the Community Corner. I'm very fortunate and I'm extremely grateful. I'm hanging out with this awesome dude right now here on the show. Cornelius, I got to tell you, man, as I was doing my research for the show here today, did you realize, maybe you did, almost every time you write about reclaiming manhood, you also mention legacy. Legacy is an important word for you. Talk about what legacy means to you. And then the second part of that question is, what's one legacy habit that you hope your kids pick up without even realizing it?
Yeah, great question. So legacy means everything. And the legacy that I speak of is the living legacy. Where I'm dead and gone, who knows?
Yes.
My living legacy. Yes. What am I doing right now today?
Yes.
Because I understand that as a man, I have a ripple effect based on my choices. And I'm so aware of that. So my legacy is so important. And that helps me show up every day and be the best man I can be without worrying about what people will think. To answer your second question, one thing that I want them to do is to be able to love people. And I really mean love people and see people for who they are versus all this nonsense that we have out here in our world, man. People are just people.
What does that mean to you? Let's go there with me. What does that mean to you?
So it means that most of us want the same things. We may not understand how to communicate it. And it's funny, but like if we all been programmed to see people the way we see them. And so as a black man, for instance, I love black people, but it doesn't mean I'm anti-white people. I love them too. Because because they're just people. And so if we take all the programming away and we just see people for people, the connections that we can make could be so deep, but we don't do it. We struggle with it. And so reclaiming manhood is being the type of man that can embrace all those little things.
I got to tell you, brother, I'm in a really unique position here. So I'm a Canadian. I'm here in Canada. 99,000% of my audience is in America. I feel like I have this unique position where I can comment on the world. I can comment on the bullshit. And I will say this, that I talk to a lot of people that wear blue, and I talk to a lot of people that wear red. And what's really incredible, my friends in America, all you humans are all saying the same fucking thing with a few words in between the middle that you guys can't all agree on.
That's so good.
But it's incredible to me because I talk to you blue guys on one day, I talk to you red guys on the other day. I'm like, you guys are all saying the same thing, but there's nobody in the middle that's introducing to the fact that, okay, why don't you take off your blue shirt and stand naked in front of the red shirt guy, and you guys both stand naked. And now talk about your fears. Now talk about how you feel if you saw your mom dying, and talk about those things. And now, and what's going to happen quickly is now the humanity starts shining through. And dude, that's my purpose with this show, is to help bringing people together to have conversations and discourse like this.
Yeah.
Well, I may not agree with everything you say, but I want to be curious about what you have to say, and I want to learn from you. And I want to know that I know that you get scared about things like I get scared about things. But when we learn when we start talking about fear, we all of a sudden put walls up. That to me is the great equalizer, is fear.
Yeah.
Right. Or wondering about, like, have you ever asked yourself this too, sort of rant here, but have you ever asked yourself this too? Like, is your mom still alive by any chance?
Yeah.
Do you ever ask yourself this? Because I ask myself this sometimes. Like, what scares my mom and how she feels? Because if I know my mom is scared, that makes me feel scared.
That's good.
Right, because your mom and your dad are like your superheroes. Mm-hmm. So the moment you think about them being scared, you're going, wait a minute, why? And so when you think about that, well, you have a mom, I have a mom, you're red, you're blue, we're all the same human being, right? So anyways, I love what you're saying, and legacy and living legacy, right, and leaning into humanity, right?
Yeah. I love what you just did. The red and blue is such a great story. That makes so much sense to me. And then you brought up parents and having, like, making it's bigger than me. So yes, I might have fear, but what is my mom afraid of? Well, my mom still has a mortgage. I want to be the man that can create enough where I can pay her mortgage off. You know what I mean? That's a fear for her. I know that. So I love, and so again, I show up differently in the work I do because of that goal.
Yes. Cornelius, you moved from Michigan to North Carolina in 2009. I gotta wonder, man. So you go from Midwest culture, Midwest guy, to Southern culture. Dude, what was that move like? Yeah,
it was scary, actually.
I bet it was.
And it was scary for a lot of reasons. I grew up in a city of 85,000. I'm moving to a city of 500,000. Had never lived anywhere in the South. Did not have any resources, money, credit, all the things you need. Did not have a job when I moved down here, but I needed a change. And I needed a change not just for myself, but for my family. And so we moved, and I moved here with less than $1,000, bro. No job. I figured it out. I got a temporary job. I figured it out, but I wanted something different, and I wasn't willing to stay where I was. So it was scary, but it was the best decision I've ever made in my life.
No kidding. Why did you guys choose out the Carolinas?
So I just Googled the best cities in America.
Are you? Hold on a second.
I'm serious. Bro, like where is it growing? Where's their money? Where's their good people?
You Googled best city and you said, what's your wife's name?
Ashley.
Hey, Ashley, I just Googled the next city we're moving. Or hey, do you want to move to I just Googled the city we can move to. What do you think? Okay.
I know it. You know, it's kind of crazy, but it's the crazy ones that change the world. So many people are stuck in their comfort zones. You know, you've been around your same family, your same church, your same business, and you wonder why you don't grow.
Yes.
I never grew really until I moved. It changed my life.
Actually, producer Jimmy, I think it went like this. Hey, Ashley, yeah, you got 6 minutes? Yeah, okay, great. Let's go get 6 minutes done. We'll go move, and then we'll bring another child with us.
Hey, man. That's great. That's so good. That's so good.
Dude, you co-own. I'm sorry, hold on. Your mission so again, do my research with you and so forth. Thoroughly love your story. Your mission focuses on men who are tired of living beneath their calling. When you're meeting with people you work with, you're meeting with friends and guys around you, how do you know, Cornelius? How do you spot a man who's living beneath his potential?
Yeah, great question, and it's really simple. The first thing I notice is the way he walks.
Oh.
Yeah, there's something about a man who's walking in his purpose and fullness. The way he moves is totally different. He's not slumped over. I'm not saying he's walking fast or he's walking slow. You just can there it is. I love it.
Like that?
That's one. The way he talks. That's great, man. That's great. The way he talks.
Yes.
It's in his eyes. You can see it.
Yes.
You got to pay attention, and it's there. It's always there.
Yeah, you got to pay attention. You've got to pay attention. Now, you've shared stats within your stuff about men feeling isolated and unheard.
Yeah.
When was the last time you, Cornelius, felt truly heard by another man? Besides right now with me, of course.
No, that's a great. Yeah, this year, this year, this year, 2025. I've been, I got this group, Iron Tribe. It's a group of men. We meet every Wednesday. Today at 12, we meet every Wednesday, and we have these open conversations. And it really is. But here's the thing about that, Keith. The problem wasn't other men; it was me. There was men probably that would have been willing to hear me, but I wasn't willing to share. I wasn't sharing. No way. I'm not letting these guys. What if I show them who I really am and they reject me? Now what do?
Can I tell you something? As I'm aging in life, and I think you can say this too, I love showing people who I am more than ever, actually.
Yeah.
Hence my show. So like that here, like that's me. Like that's just part of who I am. Like I'm just and I love showing that off because why not? And if I show it off, maybe you'll show it off. And if I show it off, maybe that man over there who doesn't know how to be vulnerable will show it off. And then if that happens, we're all winning and it's a better place.
100%. 100%. There's a poem that's called My Deepest Fear.
Yeah.
But part of at the end of it says, if I show myself, then I'll be liberated, which will also give you the energy to be liberated too. And it's so true. When you show up like that, full of your power, other people are like, well, I want that. I want to feel that way. I want to have that confidence. Yes. So I'm there now too. I'm right there with you. And you know what? Some people they're not going to rock with it. They're not going to like it. And you just figure those aren't my people. No problem.
It's interesting to hear what you just said. I'm going to take a second to talk a little bit about me. I don't do it often, but my colleague Melissa said to me a number of months back, she said, Keith, people tune into your show because they want what you're serving up. They want to know how to be confident like you. They want to know how they can get more of what you're serving up. And I didn't understand that at first, but then as I kept listening to it and building this show and meeting incredible men like yourself, I started, and then getting the feedback from people going, okay, I get it. I get it. I understand that there's a sense of energy that people want vulnerable human beings.
They do.
Right? So
they do.
All right. So Jimmy, I got to make an executive decision. I'm going to take my glasses off for this one. So I'm in love right now. I'm in love with this guy. I'm fucking loving this conversation. And I know that I'm against the clock. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to do two things. I want to have Cornelius back, brother. I'd love to have you back for a longer chat with myself, John, and Marty on a future show. Would you do that with us?
100%. Anytime. Anytime.
This is awesome. So that sets it up because we're going to work towards wrapping it up because I want to have you back here longer. So then what we're going to do, Jim, is I'm going to do a rapid fire with Cornelius, and then we're going to celebrate Cornelius's creator spotlight. Because, dude, I can tell, man, you're like an honorary Roofy. This guy is an honorary member of the lab, man. This guy is are serving it up. I was quite excited about this. So okay, so we're gonna do a rapid fire with you, brother. And then we're gonna celebrate who we want to celebrate as part of your creative spotlight. All right, Kalamazoo or Raleigh? Which city has better food?
Ooh, Raleigh. Yeah, Raleigh.
With 6 kids, who's your favorite? Kidding. With 6 kids, coffee or energy drinks?
Both.
With 6 kids, is it a bus? Is it a Suburban? Is it a bunch of what the fuck do you guys drive?
It's a Suburban. It is.
Oh, look, here's the black family in the big suburban coming, right? All the fuck, and then you open it up and it's this mass, all these kids coming out, right? And, oh, it's the Kirks. And then, oh, what's that? Oh, it's a little bug with little Uncle Keith are getting out of the back there.
Yes, sir.
Most overused word in men's self-help.
Healing.
Oh, tell me.
Healing. It's a word that people just use, but they don't do it. So overused, but overused from mouth, underused from action.
Yeah. Worst unsolicited advice you've ever received about fatherhood for a guy who's made 6 kids.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. No, you won't. No, you won't. No, that's not true. You do figure some things out. It's hard.
Actually, you got 6 minutes for me? No, no, Keith, it's only 4 now. I'm 51. Actually, I know I'm 53. It's only 3, actually.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, you touched me. Oh, it's over already. Jesus, Murphy.
So game over.
Oh man, if you weren't coaching men, Cornelius, what would you be doing, my friend?
That's a great question. I'd be coaching basketball for sure.
Oh,
yeah. Still coaching. So I am.
That's awesome. Favorite way to decompress after an intense coaching session?
Usually go work out. I'll go work out.
Love it.
30-minute workout. Yeah.
Love it. You've built your entire mission around the message that good people exist and helping men reclaim their authenticity. If you could go back and have a conversation with that wounded child version of yourself, the one who promised he'd reach back and help others, what would surprise him most about the man that you've become today, Cornelius Kirk?
What would surprise him most? How much I care. How much I truly care. And it's not just words. I don't want anything from you. I just want you to succeed. That's it. And that drives me. Yeah, for sure.
Cornelius Kirk, Keith Billis, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. My brother from another mother, my new brother from another mother. He's coming back again. He's moving up quickly the ranks of the GOAT, one of the greatest of all time guests here. We're going to get to the community corner, the creator spotlight that we celebrated Cornelius on a few months ago. How do you go from running on fumes in a kitchen to running a Spartan race at 54? Not a movie plot, real life. Well, here's the scene. 30 years as a chef, burnout, nearly 300 pounds, relationship and health crisis circling the drain. Then he grabs a copy of Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins and something clicks. 10 months later, he's down 70 pounds, finishes a Spartan and feels more fuel than ever, more alive than ever. And that's not a diet story. It's a full-on identity research. But this creator didn't just stop at his own comeback. He went deeper. He took apart years of trauma, created tools like the identity trap decoder, and started helping others break out of survival mode for good. Diamond Chief titles? Yep. Cooked for presidents? Yep. Now he's out here coaching leaders through transformations that actually click. This morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, and Cornelius Kirk is excited to introduce you to Dan Capello, culinary champion, transformation coach, and the guy who proves you can rewrite your story at any age. Cornelius, you nominated Dan for this Mornings in the Lab Creator Spotlight. Tell us why we're celebrating this man today, Cornelius.
Yeah, because he cares too. Dan, the biggest thing that I see, and you've already said it, was not only did he transform his own life, he chose to go back and help other people do the same thing. How do you not honor and respect that man? So
I love it. So here's how it works. We had Cornelius on the show, Dan, because somebody celebrated him. Now, Cornelius is celebrating you, Dan, and I'd be honored, I'd be flattered to have you in the lab to hear your story, just like Cornelius is today, so we can give you the light and keep this mission forward of celebrating awesome human beings like yourself and Cornelius Kirk. So Dan, come join me in the lab, brother. We're going to give you the light so we can pay it forward on Mornings in the Lab, Creative Spotlight in the Community Corner, daily, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. There it is. What a great one, man. That's a good one. That's a really good one, brother. How did you guys meet? How do you know Dan?
Iron Tribe. Iron Tribe is a men group. We meet full of men wanting to get better.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, Cornelius, I want to be respectful of your time. I know I got you for 30 here today, and I'm going to want to have you for more. final words from you. Where can folks connect with you, find you, engage with you, meet you?
Yeah. 6 Minutes with Us on YouTube. I'm on LinkedIn under Cornelius Kirk. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on everything. Cornelius Kirk. Come check me out.
Awesome. I appreciate you. Will you come back and hang out with me again?
Yeah, bro. Anytime.
That's awesome. I love what you bring to the table, my friend, and I wish you all the luck, all the best, respect, and I'm really looking forward to staying in touch with you on the feeds, and looking forward to grabbing a coffee later today. Okay, brother?
Yeah, same thing, Keith.
Take care. Say hi to Ashley for me.
I will.
Take care, Cornelius.
Thanks, brother.
All right, we're going to get out of here, and we're going to wrap up with myself and Jimmy on the last Creator Spotlight, the Community Corner. We're going to keep it going here on Substack. Jimmy, I see it. Thanks, brother. Thanks for putting it up there for us. Oops, that's not going to work. But this is. All right, let's do it. All right. Boom, boom. You ever look at your you ever look at your to-do list and you see marketing and instantly feel that mix of overwhelm and eye roll? Like, where do you even start and who could you even trust? Well, that's where today's Creator Spotlight comes in. He's seen every side of the digital game and isn't afraid to call out fake formulas. He's managed $12 million in ad spend, brought in 235,000 leads, and helped everyone from brand new creators to 9-figure businesses get results. He built his own path. He writes every week about what's real and keeps his advice as strong as his coffee. Nation, I invite you to meet Landon, a marketing strategist who's rewriting the rules for coaches and creators by showing how mindset, neurodiversity, and honest storytelling fuel real growth. If you want to skip the sugarcoating and get real strategies to move your business forward, I invite you to follow Landon's letters. Follow Landon's letters on Substack. And Landon, we'd love to have you on the show, brother. We'd love to celebrate you and celebrate somebody else in your orbit and that awesome beard of yours on the next segment of Mornings in Lab with Keith and Friends on the Creator Spotlight. All right, Jimmy, let's do it. We're done. My bladder's making me move around here. We're going to get out of here. We're going to see you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time right here on Mornings in Lab with Keith and Friends. I got to get out of here.